Today, we're jumping into Microsoft's PowerFX. It's a language that's built on a really simple, but honestly a really powerful idea. What if all those Excel skills you have were all you needed to build a real app? I mean, really think about that for a second. What if building an application felt just as natural as writing a formula in a spreadsheet? What if you could take all that knowledge you've picked up over the years and just apply it to making apps? Well, it's exactly those questions that led to PowerFX. So here's our game plan. We're going to start with that core idea. Then we'll break down what PowerFX actually is. After that, we'll dive deep into its most important building block, tables. Then we'll see some formulas in action and wrap it all up by talking about why this is such a game changer for low-code. Okay, so the goal here was honestly massive. The idea was to bring app creation to the hundreds of millions of people who basically live inside of Excel every single day. The logic was pretty simple. If you already get how spreadsheets work, you're like halfway to building an app without even knowing it. And that's where Microsoft PowerFX steps in. It's the answer. It's this accessible, low-code language that's really the engine behind the entire Microsoft Power Platform. At its heart, PowerFX is designed to feel incredibly familiar. Seriously, if you've ever typed equals sum or an if statement into Excel, you already know the basics. It's built from the ground up to be consistent with Excel's functions, its operators, the whole thing. And that Excel-like feeling? Totally not an accident. It's guided by a few core principles. The language has to be simple, it has to be consistent with Excel, it loves pure functions, and this is the big one, it's declarative. So let's unpack what that really means. So what does declarative even mean? Just think about a spreadsheet. You put a formula in a cell, right? You tell it that it equals the sum of two other cells. You don't tell Excel when to calculate it, it just knows. Whenever the data changes, the formula updates. PowerFX is the exact same way. You just describe the result you want, and the system handles all the messy, complicated stuff in the background. All right, this leads us to what is, without a doubt, the most important idea you need to grasp in PowerFX: tables. If you want to work with any kind of data, doesn't matter if it's from Excel or SharePoint or SQL, you have to understand how PowerFX thinks about tables. And here is the key mental shift you have to make. In PowerFX, a table isn't just a container that holds your data. The table is the data. It's a value, just like the number 5 or the text hello. This means you can pass an entire table into a function, and a function can give you a brand new table back as the result. For anyone coming from traditional programming, this is a huge change. And look at this. This shows you just how fundamental tables are. You can literally create a table out of thin air, right inside a formula, just by describing the records you need. It's as simple as just typing out the data. But let's be real. The magic really happens when you hook this up to external sources. When you connect to a SharePoint list or a big SQL database, PowerFX just sees it as another table, ready and waiting for your formulas. Okay, so the theory is cool, but let's actually see this stuff work. Let's see how we can take these tables and start to shape and manipulate them using those formulas that feel just like Excel. Let's use a super simple inventory table. We'll call it products. It's just got the product name, how many have been requested, and how many we actually have in stock. Our goal? Figure out which products we need to reorder and fast. First things first, we gotta find the rows where we've been asked for more than we have. Simple enough. We use the filter function. We just give it our products table, and then we give it the rule. Quantity requested is greater than quantity available. And boom, the result is a brand new table that only has the products we need to reorder. Now check this out. We're not done. We need to figure out how many to order. So we take that entire filter formula we just wrote, and we wrap it inside another function called add columns. This takes our filtered table, bolts on a new column called quantity to order, and then does the math for each row. And that right there, that's the power of composition. Instead of writing some giant complicated procedure, our logic is just a series of small, clean formulas nested inside each other. Every single step is easy to read, easy to test, and easy to change later. It's just clean and efficient. So let's pull back for a second and look at the big picture. This whole approach isn't just some neat programming trick. It's a fundamental change in who actually gets to build software. Think about this number. Hundreds of millions of people are using Excel every single day. That's not just a statistic. That's an army of potential app builders who already have the core skills they need to work with PowerFX. They just need a way to get from one world to the other.
And that's exactly what PowerFX is. It's that bridge. By getting your head around how to work with tables and how to apply these simple formulas, this huge community of makers is suddenly able to build the custom tools they've always needed without ever writing a line of traditional code.
You see, it all comes back to that core idea. It's about empowering you, the user, to just state your intent, to describe the what, and then trusting the system to figure out all the complicated details of the how. That's what really opens up development to everyone. And this leaves us with a really fascinating thought to end on. When you lower the barrier to entry this much, you don't just get more apps, you get totally different kinds of apps, solving problems that maybe a central IT team doesn't even know exist. So the question isn't if these millions of new makers will build things, it's what incredible new problems are they going to solve. Thanks for tuning in.